What's up guys, Tyler here, welcome back to my Bloons TD video. Today I'm going through a top 5 tier 5 towers. You don't actually get to use tier 5 towers too often because they're so expensive, but sometimes at the end of chimps or impoppable mode you'll need to use it, or if you're going late game you're going to use some tier 5 towers, and if you don't know which ones to unlock or just which ones are probably best overall for using in those modes and late game, well this should help out a little bit. Anyway, let's get right into it. So number 5 right here, we got our bad boy, the Bloon Crush. He's the top tier, top path 5th tier upgrade for the bomb shooter. So this guy is good not because of how much he can solo. This guy's actually more of a support tower, but a damn good support tower he is. So basically, if you didn't know, it does a lot of layers for damage, maybe like 10 or so if I had to guess. I don't really know the exact amount, that's not important. But what is important is the fact that every single time it hits a balloon, it stuns it. And it stuns these balloons for long. Look at how much it's halting the advancement of this BFB. So sure, it's not doing the greatest amount of damage by itself, but you can imagine in late game, having one of those near the front, just allowing your towers to do so much more damage over time. It's honestly unparalleled. Like, there's some other stun towers in the game. There's the Credible Moab, there's the 5th tier Moab Glue that also do some stun, but those stuns do not compare to this stun. This stun is almost basically a halt. It affects up to 40 balloons at a time. It can stun up to 40 balloons, but it only deals damage to 10 balloons max, or at least Moab class balloons max, which is really strange. But anyways, it does still work late game, as in the stuns do not decrease in duration as the game gets later and later on. In BTD 5, there's this thing where tower or balloon stuns weren't as effective as it got later and later on, so you need more of these. But as far as I can tell, in free play, this guy works just as well as he does in sandbox. It was only like around 100 test, but there would have been a noticeable difference by then. So this guy does not detect camo by himself, but with the help of a camo detecting village, he can hit DDTs and stun them. It's a little bit weird if they're spaced out, but speaking of the village, there's a really good interaction with the Bloon Crush and the village. The jungle drums makes it almost permanently stall balloons. So we're going to get that right now, jungle drums upgrade, and we're just going to kind of watch it up against a single DDT. Look at how much that progress has halted. A DDT is super fast usually, it just jets across the map, but now it's making absolutely no progress. And by the way, it stuns ZOMGs too, and let me tell you, it is also insane against ZOMGs under this jungle drums village. Basically halting in place. It's a little bit awkward with the spacing out of the balloons, but now it's better. Unfortunately, it does not affect BADs. There are no stuns or stalls in the game that affects BADs, I believe. The BAD can't really be stopped, which is fine, but the ZOMG is basically stopped, and that is absolutely going to come in handy at some point in free play. Just the fact that it's basically stunning this guy in place. And if you get the primary expertise upgrade on the village, the 3rd tier top path, that makes the Moab Crush, or Bloon Crush, sorry, attack even faster, stunning it even more in place. Look at that halted ZOMG progress. It's just unmatched. So because that's just being stunned so well, all we need is probably just a Plasma Monkey, and that's all you need to take down this ZOMG. A Plasma Monkey definitely struggles against a BFB, much less a ZOMG, but now with the power of the Bloon Crush, it'll just be able to annihilate it. So you see how this support is just really, really, really helpful here. That alone just brings it to the top 5 or 5th position of 5th tier towers, I would say. I probably wouldn't use this much in chimps mode or in poppable mode, but after seeing how well it does with the Plasma Monkey, I might change my mind on that. But this is a must use for late game. Would not skip out on this or other towers. It's extremely powerful. So let's move on to the next one. Coming in at number 4 is the 5th tier glue gunner top path, the Bloon Solver. And this is probably one of the only 5th tier towers I would actually recommend using for chimps mode. It is highly advantageous to use this on chimps mode. It's not like you have to use it, but it's very good. It will get you some chimps W's for sure. And the nice thing about this tower is basically once you get it, you simply will not have to worry about non-Moab class balloons again. So it doesn't have great Moab class balloon popping power, but fortified ceramics and below it's very good at. As you can see, it took on 250 fortified ceramics. I think it leaked like 140 lives because it was bad positioning. But here we're just going to kind of watch it combo with the Bloon Crush against 40 banded DDTs and just watch that take down everything. Now it's going to take a little bit because this guy does maybe 10 damage per second against Moab class balloons, but it will absolutely shred ceramics. I feel like it deals with those faster. As a high attack speed, and it hits 12 balloons per shot as a 500, and it hits, I believe, 16 balloons per shot is a 520, and 12 balloons per shot again is a 502. In late game, you probably want 502 for the sake of slowing down the balloons, because so the glue just has more time to kill everything. But here we see the glue and the Bloon Crush take on 10 overstacked ZOMGs just right on top of each other, leaking absolutely nothing. And here you can see the power of the Bloon Crush actually as well. Like, it may not have done a great job showcasing it by itself, but now you see with the 5th tier glue gunner that the two combo together very, very well. So now we're going to an actual late game simulation where the balloons all get stronger and faster, including the fast cooldown regen ceramics that'll just come out of Moabs and stuff. And the Bloon Solver here is still very good against it. Here we have a 502 and is absolutely just soloing every single banded ceramic that comes out of Moabs, it comes out of BFBs, it comes out of DDTs. It's doing an excellent job. Now compare that to a tower that's notoriously known for its quote-unquote infinite pop power, the Glaive Lord. This guy starts sucking once you get the free play. This guy's really bad, and you'll see super shortly once it just deals with these fortified ceramics. These guys are just faster and tougher than the ones in Sandbox. So it doesn't matter where the hell I put this guy, even if the balloon's completely surrounded, if it's the most perfect spot, it just will not beat free play banded ceramics, and it's especially more deadly since it regrow. So you can see how the Bloon Solver is just a huge step up and a lot cheaper than the infinite pop and power tower of the Glaive Lord. And while it's not directly shown in this video, rounds 70 through 100 are where the Bloon Solver really shine, so you'll probably want to use that in Chimps mode or in Poppable mode and not have to worry about any ceramics ever again. You can get it for super cheap. It's something like $40,000 overall, which is really not that bad for a 5th tier tower. And after that, it's not that great. There's a lot of towers that do its job better than it does, but you know, I mean, it technically does something after round 100. But for its Chimps and Impoppable beating ability alone, I would put this guy at number 4. Coming in at 3rd place is the 5th tier ninja ability, the Grand Saboteur. Now, the main reason actually why this is in 3rd place is because of the ability that comes with the 4th tier ninja, the Sabotage Supply Lines, but the Grand Saboteur does add a hell of a bonus on top of all of it. So the Grand Saboteur does stall balloons for twice as long. It stalls them for about 30 seconds and has this thing where it damages all Moab class balloons that come in the screen after activating the ability, and that lasts for about 40 seconds. So you get 30 seconds of 50% slow, which is amazing for late game since it just lets your towers perform twice as strong, at least until enough layers of balloons are popped, and then it deals a significant amount of damage to every incoming Moab class balloon that is 40 seconds after the ability. Now, I decided to do the math of just trying to figure out exactly how much damage it does to every single Moab class balloon, and it deals 22.5% of its health. Just the outer blimp's health. It doesn't damage the inner blimps at all, just the outer blimps, and you can tell this by comparing the damage of the Monkey Ace for a sabotage blunt to a non-sabotage one. So just because of that alone, your towers will be 22.5% closer to defeating any late game blimps, whether it be a BAD, a ZOMG, a DDT, anything really, and that's just extremely useful for late game. And, you know, mid game, you know, Chimps and Impoppable, the Sabotage Supply Lines is generally good enough, but a Grand Saboteur is still not that bad itself. Like, it'll do some quality pop and power, and it basically acts as 2 Sabotage Supply Lines in one. It just stalls things for longer, which is a really good deal just as a whole. Coming in at number 2, surprisingly, is the True Sun God. Now, this is the granddaddy of all late game. You do not want to be caught going into late game without this tower. He is just too damn good in raw pop and power. Just to show you all, we'll be showing what I think is probably the best 5th tier True Sun God you can get against 250 stacked banded BADs. So yeah, obviously Grand Saboteur is like really good for late game. You need that 50% slow to have your towers do basically twice as good overall, but this is where all your popping power is going to come from. And I'll do a little bit to talk about how I think you achieve the max tempo, but I might do a more in-depth video in the future because there's a lot of ways you could do this. Now for starters, there you could either go for epic range, insane full map range, not full map, but huge amounts of range, or you could go for something like the knockback and innate camo detection. What I usually choose to go for is the huge range, then I just get a camo village by it. I also got jungle drums for good measure, but yeah, it's just usually get the camo village because I think the range is just too good to pass up. So the general idea for getting a max tempo is having, you know how like all the towers have their colors in the background? There's the primary towers, military towers, magic towers, and support towers. So you want about $50,000 of each type of tower sacrificed to the true sun god. However, not every single sacrifice will be used. The one that has the least amount of money will be the one skipped out on. So I was intentionally making sure my support tower was the least amount of money spent that I sacrificed to the true sun god. And I'm not quite sure if this is the best way, because if you do support towers, it buffs all your other towers like crazy. It makes them cheaper, and it probably makes them attack better and all that. I'm not sure of the entire exact stats. I'm also not sure if I plan on not utilizing the support tower, if it's even worth sacrificing the $50,000 of that type of tower to it anyways. Like, if it's not gaining the support's ability, if it's not giving me $10,000 every now and then, if it's not buffing my other towers, maybe I just don't even add the support tower. I'm not quite sure, because maybe the plasma makes a difference. But either way, that's the one that's cheapest, so everything else is just maxed out. Got maxed blades, got maxed airships, got maxed sun gods, and probably max plasma. And basically that just does a bunch of damage. If you're going for high rounds, yeah, spend the $1 million or however much it costs total to buy one of these. It actually might be a bit more than $1 million. It's probably close to like 1.2 million or something crazy like that, if you just want to be extra super duper sure that you got a true max sun god. And it actually looks like it's going to struggle against these 250 BADs, but don't you worry. Don't you worry one bit. This guy is just absolutely nuts. A balloon killing machine. As far as like late game pop power efficiency, I don't think anything beats this. I would be shocked to see any tower outperform this guy. So what 5th tier tower could possibly be better than the max true sun god? Well, most of you probably guessed that at this point. The current most broken 5th tier tower, and most broken tower overall in the game, I would say, is the perma spike factory, the bottom tier 5th tier spike factory. Now this guy is so strong, but not just in strength, but he's insanely cheap as well. So he's not necessarily a great late game tower, although he's certainly useful, but his specialty is chimps mode. Oh my god, this guy will give you the easiest chimps mode win ever. So one of these guys on smart targeting at 0.25 with a 0.30 village will take down a single BAD all by itself, even without giving it too much time to prep. Like, we're just sending the BAD and letting the spike factory build up spikes only while the BAD is on screen, and you're gonna see that thing's just gonna swallow the BAD whole. And it's not just that good, it can take on much more than just one BAD. Now this guy, it costs a total of less than, I believe, $40,000. It's really cheap, so it's even more cost effective than the balloon solver against everything. This guy can probably solo chimps mode round 80 through 100 on most maps, not every map, but as you can see, that BAD just got absolutely shredded. So now we're going to up the stakes. We're going to try sending 2 BADs just stacked directly on top of each other, and then for good measure just send another set of 2 eventually, because I don't think 2 will be enough to overwhelm this perma spike. Now if you want the perma spike to do even better, you get the jungle drums on the village. So you got the fast attacking perma spike factory with the pop everything ability of the village and the jungle drums making it attack faster. This is more effective than the 205 spike factory, but while the 205 spike factory is a standalone, it can beat DDTs by itself. It just, the bigger spikes don't actually add too much to the spike piles. The spike piles already pop like 200 plus by themselves, so adding 5 or doing whatever the first tier top path of the spike factory doesn't make that big a difference. So you generally want to go 025 with a 230 village, and that will just honestly shred everything. It's really nuts. Round 95, piece of cake. Round 98, almost scary, but really easy. Round 99, oh my gosh, I've never worried less in my life. Now 2 BFDs stacked on top. Let's see how my perma spike does, and is just destroying it. So now next set of 2 BADs coming in right here. I don't think this is going to handle it. As you can tell, some of the spikes did go away, so they're not permanent, but it does do a really good job. It takes down the main layer of both the BADs and leaks about 54,000 lives total, I'd say, approximately, which is about the RBE of a single BAD. So I would say a single perma spike can handle probably 3 BADs, if I had to say. And a single 5th tier tower for less than 40,000 with like a $10,000 support village is absolutely nuts. Maybe 15,000 support village. Either way, not important, not important. It's insane. And it will carry you through chimps mode. It will carry you through impossible mode. Ninja Kiwi is probably going to nerf this tower. So if you're watching this video right now and this tower sucks, well, you know why. Because it probably won't have this amount of pop power for too much longer. So use it to beat chimps mode while you can and get all those medals. It's crazy just how good it is. We're just kind of sending a bunch of extra stuff against it without even giving it much time to prepare at all. It's just to see its raw popping power, and it's honestly just blowing my mind how good this tower is. So absolutely the best 5th tier tower in the game, absolutely better than the true Sun God. I would use this. I would probably rush this tower as soon as possible. Just forgo everything to get a perma spike factory, and then just don't worry about a single other thing. Then you can get, focus on just maybe other random towers, like support towers, like your ninjas and your 5th tier temple. But this guy is the true hero of Bloons TD 6. So I hope you guys enjoyed my rankings. Let me know what you think. Yell at me in the comment section if you think I missed one, or you think his one is just better than what I listed. And I will be judging the comments and probably making a most overrated towers video, because there are some certain towers I'm thinking of that I won't say that are extremely overrated. So I wouldn't be surprised to see hundreds of comments about a certain 5th tier tower. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. So thanks all you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you all in the next Bloons TD 6 video. Peace out.